The first exercise in our lower body series is going to be a reverse lunge. I like a reverse lunge because I think it's a great beginner exercise to warm up to doing more complicated or fancier things with our lunges. And so to execute this properly, we want to think about lunging down rather than forward. So if you watch my demonstration here, what we're going to do is we're going to start our feet at the front part of the lunge. We're going to take a step back, and then we're going to lunge down. What we're aiming for here is a 90-degree angle in our front knee as well as in our back knee. And so that allows for even distribution of our weight over our entire front foot. We're not putting any unnecessary strain into our knee joint or making ourselves go off balance because our weight is shifting too far into our toe. Now what we can do with this is we can alternate our reverse lunges. So we can go back on one side, and then we'll switch and we'll go back on the other side and then switch. You also have the option of doing all of your repetitions on one side and then doing all of the ones on the other side. That choice is up to you. Our next exercise in our lower body series is a single leg deadlift. And I think that this is a great exercise for all runners to incorporate into their program because it adds an element of balance to our strength training work, which is so key for our running performance, our stability, great running form, and great running mechanics. So to do a single leg deadlift, again, I'd like to start with a body weight single leg deadlift. You can add weight to it after you've mastered the technique and mastered the form here. What we're going to do is we're going to start by standing on one foot. We're going to lift one leg off the ground, and then we're going to move into a deadlift motion, a single straight leg deadlift motion on the one side, and then we're going to return to our starting position. We can either switch feet or we can repeat and do another rep here. And so this is a great move if you want to work on improving your balance and improving your stability in running form. Then a single leg deadlift works all the right muscles to make that happen. Our next lower body exercise in this series is going to be a squat. And squats are really fundamental not only for our performance and our strength as runners, but also in so many other areas of our lives where this motion is important for overall function and strength and mobility. So there are lots of different ways that we can squat. There are lots of different form positions that we can take with our squat. What's important is figuring out what feels comfortable and right for you. Some things like differences in anatomy between people mean that certain types of squats may feel more natural and more comfortable than others. So a couple of keys are to make sure that you're not feeling any pain or discomfort in any specific joints or areas of your body, and that you feel like you are balanced, that you're on balance while you're doing your squat motion. So for me, what works really well is to keep my feet just a little bit wider than my hips. That may feel comfortable for you, or you may want to do something a little bit different. And then I'm keeping my knees just pointing out in the same line as my toes. Now this is something that I do want you to do, is just ensure that whatever's happening with your foot placement, your knees are going to be in alignment with that foot placement. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down into my squat. I'm moving my hips backwards as my body comes down, and I'm keeping my back straight and my chest tall, so I'm looking straight ahead rather than curving my spine down. So from the front, it looks like this. And of course this is what it would look like from the side. So again, my back is flat, my chest is forward, and I'm just moving my hips backwards as I sit down into my squat. Our final exercise in our lower body series is going to be a single leg step up. Now, I like this exercise similar to the single leg deadlift because it adds an element of balance to our strength work that is so important for great running form and for injury prevention. And so to do this exercise, you're going to want to have just a small riser or box in front of you, or something just a couple of inches off the ground. If you have a history of injuries, then maybe you're going to want to start with something a little bit lower. And so what you're going to do here is you're going to place one foot on top of your riser or on top of your box, and you're going to use that to lift your body weight off the ground and then return to your starting point. What's important here is you want to make sure that your weight is focused on this leg that's doing the pushing, we're not pushing off with our toe on the other side. So you want to be really using this leg to lift your body up and push up, and then return to that starting point. And then you'll repeat on the other side and do the same number of repetitions on the other side.